Rachelle and Cass, welcome to Further Forward, the
Yeah.
podcast. We're here.
Thank you.
We're here. We've arrived.
Thank you for saying yes.
Thank you for the invitation. Like, such an honor to be here.
It's an honor for me. I think you're both so incredible and your work is incredible. And I thought it was such a no-brainer to have you share your gifts or your wisdom in some way to this growing audience. And so truly, I'm very, very grateful to have you both here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So I never read people's bios on this show. Like, people can read your bio in the show notes afterwards. So if you can fight over who goes first. Can you just tell us a little bit who you are? However that finds you today. Who are you?
I guess I'll go first. Hi, my name is Cass. I am a yoga teacher, a body worker, as well as a nurse. I have been kind of in a little bit of a caretaker role for a while. So all these things being together and intertwined just felt pretty naturally. I enjoy doing slower style practices that help me, stay grounded and calm and collected in the best ways possible. I am also a very active person, so that balance between the yin and yang to kind of, have that space as well. Love plants. um, I love spending time with my family. I love meeting new people and making connections. And yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Rachelle Pierre. I too am a yoga teacher, body worker. In my corporate space, I'm an executive assistant. My teaching is definitely a little bit more fiery. I teach hot power. It's my bread and butter. It's what I love. It allows me to be in my body, away from the world generally. I'm also an avid hiker. I love spending time in nature. I also love spending time with friends and family. Definitely a busybody. Schedule is packed. I live by my calendar. But anything that allows me to just pause, be in my space, get a little grounded, that's what I lean towards. And yeah, I would definitely categorize myself as a caretaker, someone who enjoys holding space and taking care of others.
Thank you. My brain is already buzzing. Part of my work is like, Ashley, one thing at a time, one question at a time, because you two start talking and then like all of these things come up that I want to know. So if I could focus myself for one moment, you both love caretaking. And so many women find that work daunting, tiring, thankless. How do you keep it in a space that feels good or a space that feels nourishing for you? And I'm wondering, is it because you get to do that mainly through movement and through touch, or is it something else that maybe I don't know or I'm not seeing?
It's a beautiful question, and one I gather both Cass and I think about often. How are we ensuring we're showing up for our people, our community, within our bubbles with intention, with purpose, and also with personal care for ourselves so that we can show up for others? I think it starts with our rituals, our practices, the ways in which we take care of ourselves before we think even in any way about how we're taking care of other people. It feels very purpose driven. I feel as if it's part of my dharma, my purpose in this lifetime to take care of other people. I will say some days are harder than others, especially when I have my stuff. I have my own trauma, my own triggers, my own issues, depending on the day of the week. And it's just a practice of creating space, making more space, carving out space. There's a lot of intention behind that. Um, and I think for women specifically, I've been around a lot of women who are great at it. I get to see how they do
Mm.
it. I get to collect information and how can I make it my own? But also realizing that there's a lot of wisdom within me already that I just have to lean on.
Mm. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
I agree as well. I think rooted in rituals and routines can kind of be a true anchor to making the caretaking role a little bit more sustainable for myself and also for others. Like my background, I grew up as a caretaker. I'm the only girl in the house. I have two brothers. People heavily relied on me. I was the glue to the family and kind of still am in ways. And very young, I had to, caretake grandparents and cousins and, family that needed extra support that people didn't have the information to. Also, because my nursing background, it's like you have a nurse in the family, like let's
Um,
go to her, and which is totally fine. So I think that that rooted from there. And then as I grew older, I'm like, "Oh, I truly enjoy holding space for people." And yeah, it
mm,
can be very daunting sometimes and it can be very challenging, but the rituals and the routines and how can I keep myself grounded to make sure that the people around me are also feeling supported, because that also makes me feel supported when I see my
mhm,
family,
Right.
um,
mhm,
taken care of. And I think with women being caretakers, people assume that it's a natural thing as well because, not every person has that maternal instinct or a caretaker instinct, and it's a
mhm,
skill. I feel like for me, but I feel like there are ways as women that whether you enjoy caretaking or you don't enjoy caretaking, there's ways to still kind of make it sustainable and work for you rather than trying to
mhm,
fit into that caretaking role.
mhm,
Do you ever feel guilty uh pouring into your own cup? Do you ever what's the dynamic around creating the rituals and routines and really allowing yourself to be just as important as those you were holding space for?
mm.
We're going deep. We're like 5 minutes
I'm
in.
like,
Like, we're
Like, yeah, girl.
this is
I love.
sorry, but not sorry.
mhm. No,
Oh,
I
this
love
is.
these questions. I
Mhm,
I how do I want to start this off? For me, I feel like it will forever be a challenge in some ways for me to find that balance of like me coming first versus someone else, because again, like how Rochelle kind of mentioned, we like have our own traumas and triggers, and sometimes I don't realize that I'm in the trauma of something of like I can't even I have to do this thing first for someone else before I can do it for me. But
mhm,
then the body likes to speak and chat and let you know, like, this is what we can't do. And when that happens, yes, I unfortunately, fortunately, like you can feel it in your body, you can feel it in your mind, you can feel it in your breath, especially for me.
mhm,
And I've been very at a point where I can now distinguish, like, okay, I'm sorry, I can't take care of you right now, but I can come to you when I feel more stable in myself and grounded first. So all to say, yeah, it's still a challenge, but it kind of gets not easier, but I'm able to recognize it a bit quicker and faster, and then I'm able to, shift it around uh in a more, I don't know, fun way. I like to try to make these things fun so that it's not like a daunting
Mhm.
chore or a task that it has to be.
Okay. Okay. Thank
yeah. Yeah, this this is the struggle for me. The no, the full sentence no.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's been such a struggle and a journey, especially in my 20s. I'm 32 now, but I think so many tools, therapy, practicing with people in my life of how to say no, so I'm not pouring from that empty cup.
Right.
And I also have people who are incredibly disappointed vocally or unhappy when I say no to them, and that's been really hard to receive. I tend to internalize it as I'm not a good this or that, a teacher, a family member, a caretaker, and yeah, there are days where it really gets to me, and I can get a little down about that. And then there are days where it's a complete, I don't care what, it's my life. I am the main character in my
Right.
life, and I need to take care of myself first and foremost. And to Cass's point about not everyone has that maternal instinct, I feel as if I do, but I talk to friends who are women all of the time who don't necessarily have that, or who might say, ah, like, I need to focus on me. And I hear them say that, and I think, yeah, absolutely, go off, girl, do that. And then why is it that in my life I still struggle with feeling as if I'm not able to or allowed to say that as well? And so it's hard to be someone who cares deeply and feels deeply, because you tend to, yeah, you tend to think, I have to be perfect all the time. I have to be right all of the time. And here I am in my classes saying, let the journey be a little messy, like, show up authentically as yourself. And it's a journey to do that in my own right. And one I have to keep trying at every single day.
Mhm.
That really resonates. Same. Same, same, same. And also, the added layer of being a wife and a mother,
Mm,
the feeling of not wanting to disappoint people, or, if I say no, or if my phone stays on do not disturb and people cannot get a hold of me,
yeah.
or if I don't want to sub that class because it's going to disrupt my sleep,
Yeah.
and my sleep is more important than wherever that person needs to go or whatever. Like, I constantly feel it's it's hard to win, and maybe that's part of the problem, is that, like, it's not anything that I can necessarily win or lose, but it's something, Rochelle, to your point, that I feel like I have to practice every day and be like, "Okay, I know that there's a certain amount of energy that needs to be reserved for Mark and Zion, and so, and then there's also me, and then sometimes there are scraps, and that just has to be good enough." I don't know.
Scraps are still food, still something to eat and mull over. So,
There's a
yeah.
part of me that wants to make that the title of this podcast, like, "Scraps Your Soul."
Yo, yes.
That's a real response.
I can't, it's true, though,
Yeah.
and part of why I wanted this podcast in the first place was because, like, I needed other women to, like, look at me and be like, "Yeah, me too."
Mm,
Right? Because some of these things, it doesn't matter if you're a wife, if you're a mother, how you work, what it is you do, if you have a big family, a small family, if all of your family members are no longer here. Like, there are so many things that we're all going through the same thing
yes.
with different contexts and nuances. And it makes me feel comforted to know that I'm not the only one trying all these tools and constantly trying to figure all of this out
Yes.
over the course of a lifetime.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm,
It's like I remember to piggyback off what Rochelle said a little bit too. It's like taking your own advice. Like it's so easy to
yes.
tell or guide or provide something for someone else, but it's like why can't I do exactly what I'm saying? Like if I'm verbally saying it, then yes, it's going to work for me because I'm
Right.
saying it to other people. But where is that like? What is the block or that space that's like allowing us not to get to that?
Hmm.
Exactly. Exactly. And also me practicing too, when other people state their boundaries, of like, let me be the person that supports their no, because they need that as well, right? Just like I do.
Yeah.
Their no is a complete sentence, and I need to be okay with it, even if it disappoints me or disrupts something that I wanted to happen or whatever. That part of that practice is saying the no and also receiving the no.
Hmm.
Mhm. And just
Ugh,
the term practice alone,
Hmm.
yeah,
it's a practice. It's
that's
I was
true.
saying to Rochelle earlier, like we're humans, we're always evolving, things are always changing, things are not going to resonate the day before, the minute before, the second before.
Right.
How can we like honor ourselves in that?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. I wanna ask a couple of things. Damn it. There's
Many
so many
things.
things. Um, Cass, you said
Mm,
that the body speaks. I believe this is true. So my question is, how can people get better at listening to the signals? What does that look like in the breath? What does it look like in how places hold tension, or like how can people hear those somatic things instead of just brushing past them? When do they need to stop and be curious or concerned about what's happening within?
Hmm. This is something that I also say in my classes too, is like, if you ever arrive into a space or like a posture or anything where it causes your breath to kind of be restricted. So if it's mostly localized into your chest versus actually taking a full expansion down to your belly, if it's feeling choppy, if it's feeling unsmooth, if it's feeling rapid, like sometimes those are signs like, okay, your body just needs a second. Like, first of all, breathing is just, it's natural, it's involuntary, it happens regardless whether we want it to or not. But we
Right.
also have pieces of control where we can allow it to be more deeper and expand through other parts of our bodies. So I feel
mhm,
like if you take a second to notice, like, how am I breathing? How do I normally breathe? And what does that look and feel like versus someone guiding me to like a few breaths? Um, that could be a signal as well. Sometimes, neck discomfort that just randomly pops up, or like you question about your back being, a little bit sore every time, or maybe your eyes are sore, maybe just like staring at something so much, just like those
Mhm.
things can be signals as well. And yes, we're going to have aches and pains in our bodies because, again, we're growing and we're evolving. Our cells are also regenerating and all the things. But, like,
mhm,
when something is feeling uncomfortable where you have to question, like, "Why is this hurting?" and it's never have
Mhm.
before, that could be a
mhm,
sign too of, like, maybe I need to slow down and actually ask the question, like, "Why do my knees hurt?" You know?
mhm.
We got Meg Thee Stallion knees every day.
Yo,
You
yeah.
know, it's something that's just constant. It's just like,
Yeah.
"Okay, this wasn't happening before, and why is it more frequently, and why does it happen at this certain time of the day, or when I'm in this
Mhm,
situation? Like, how can I start
Mhm.
to really think about, okay, this doesn't feel comfortable, like, and I wanna feel good in my body." So, that could be, like, an inclining from the body that it's, like, telling you, like, "We need to slow down," or maybe we try a
yeah.
different route or a different, language or a different connection with a self-care or a person or a situation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. This idea that it can be subtle at first and that
Mhm.
it's learning of your body's language, the wisdom that's there. And the more you speak with your body, the more that you listen, you'll be able to decode the information
Yes.
there. And
Yes.
so in the beginning, yeah, it's subtle. It's like a little crink in the neck. You're like, oh, whatever, maybe I slept bad. Then maybe a couple weeks later, it's more intense. Like the body, it'll get gradually larger and larger and louder and louder to the point where either you're flat out, you can't do nothing, and
Mhm.
okay, now I'm here, I have to listen. But if you can start practicing the listening beforehand so that you can stop it in its tracks before you're completely injured, you're tapped out, you're burnt out, you're KO'd, that is, I mean, it's a practice. It's really difficult, but that's the magic right there. And I think if you have the rituals, if there's a routine in your life, then you're able to notice when things start to get out of
Yeah.
balance. And so
Yeah.
if your life is chaotic, which, we all have seasons that are very chaotic. I feel like I'm coming out of a very chaotic season myself, but those routines aren't like, they're not for nothing. They're for you to understand when you feel good, when you feel off, when you're feeding yourself enough, when there's enough energy, when there's enough gas in your tank, so that you recognize when you don't. You recognize when something is a little off, and then you can stop, readjust, and also recognizing that our routines and rituals change. Month to month, year to
Yes.
year. Know that you are evolving, and those things can evolve with you. And yeah, this listening it's a lifelong practice. And some injury I had in my hand for a while, I was like, okay, I have to really take a look at this. I have to take x-rays. And of course, sometimes they don't yield anything,
Right.
or like, oh, I didn't get the answer I needed. But it's just something to stay tuned into, stay listening to, and recognizing that perhaps that's just a sort of a sensory, light coming off in your body. Like, listen to me, I'm here. Can we work together? Can we collaborate together? Can we be together in this journey?
And I kind of wanted to piggyback a little bit too on that. It's like I feel like with everything that you said, Rochelle, it's like I also say these in my classes too. Like, how can we allow ourselves to detach from the judgments that arise from that, and
Mm,
be aware that we are cultivating awareness within our body, and how can we
Mhm.
be present in that? And now that we have that information, we can move on in a different way, in a different path.
mhm, mhm,
Yes. Yes. This is resonating for a couple of reasons for me. One, because this idea that your routines and rituals can and should change.
mm.
Sometimes I find myself being like, but this worked
Yeah.
5 years ago. Like, why? You know what I mean? It's like you are nowhere near the person you were
Mm,
5 years ago. You're not in the body that you were 5 years ago. And Cass, you were saying even like your cells turning over and everything, you were literally not in the same body.
Mhm.
And so why would the same things work over this? Like it's more about the relationship with discomfort and change than it is about really anything else.
mm.
I've been in my own chaotic season, Rochelle, and noticing a lot more feelings of my like nervous system like truly finding its edge, like bordering anxiety attacks, like starting to feel like my breath, it's not deep or smooth. There's something happening that's uncomfortable. And I was saying to Mark that it's a gift and a curse. I notice how sensitive I am. I notice my limits and my boundaries, and I notice that something has gone awry.
Mhm,
And also, I'm like, fuck, I'm noticing now I can't push past it. I
mhm.
can't,
You can't.
now that I know it's there, I can't treat her like shit anymore. I have
Mhm.
to listen to her.
Yeah.
You're like, your body does have an endpoint, and the body is so beautiful that it'll support you even as you continue to ignore it, but, like, it
Yeah.
has an endpoint to where, like, whether it's injury or death or sickness or whatever, it's incredible to me, and that self-awareness that you were both talking about of cultivating and listening is so important for so many reasons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I could just geek out on it all day.
Yes.
Understanding the self, it's like its own, it's like a full-time job.
It
Yeah.
is.
I agree.
It is.
Yeah,
And I think we're also talking so internal, our body,
yeah,
spirit, our mind.
yeah.
And if you just bump it out a bit, there's also the external factors. How are you feeling around in specific certain environments?
Girl.
Maybe maybe
Yeah.
the chapter has ended. Maybe
Yes.
maybe the relationship or the experience has run its course. And it's not to say it always needs to be a messy like crash ending. It can just be a peaceful release. I have experienced all that is here, and my body is telling me that. I know this. And a lot of times you don't it's hard to leave a space that's comforting even though it's started to get a little uncomfortable,
Mhm.
or yeah, you feel ready,
Yeah,
and
you
I
know.
think I've had a lot of experiences in the past 5-ish, last decade of, wow, am I done? And I think I am, and resisting that knowing. And I think now more so than ever, because I was able to say no to those things, it's getting easier to say no to things as they come down the line. So there's the internal world that we are constantly cultivating and taking care of. And then there's the fact that we are all here, Black women in America specifically, but just in this universe, in this space. And how is it that we want to arrive? How is it that we want to exist? And being really particular about the spaces, the places, the people we invite into our lives. I think more so than ever, I've become very protective of my time and my energy. I mean, I'm still incredibly open and generous with my time, but I I just everything gives me pause, as it should. Everything.
Understood.
It's like, wait a minute, do I want to do this? Do I want to speak to this person? Maybe
Yeah.
I have to have a sense of it, like a filter in a way.
Yeah. Mhm.
How's it I want to be perceived here, but not necessarily focusing so much on that, but authentically what is coming up for me.
What feels most aligned? Like what truly
Mm,
feels aligned that matches with your values?
mhm.
Yes. 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 Oh, so good. All right, talk to me about movement. Why are you 2 teachers? Why do you move? What do you do to move when you're not teaching?
You wanna go first or me?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I can go for it. Yeah. So I always laugh thinking about it, but I was just a high energy child, like, flipping around the house, breaking stuff. My parents like, nope, this isn't gonna fly.
You don't strike me as that. You're so chill.
That's what everyone says. It's just so funny. The people who have met me as an adult versus the people who have known me as a kid, my parents, my sibling, I have one brother. I was a very hyperactive child, like
Wow.
the too talkative on the report card all of the time, which is like, you can bring home the A's and B's, but it's like, girl, why can't you sit still and stop talking in class? so,
Wow.
so it's like everything was moving, my energy, my body. And then, yeah, my parents put me into gymnastics when I was younger. The rule was we don't flip around the house. We flip in the studio. We flip outside because you're not breaking the things I paid hard earned money to buy. And
Yes.
so, um, yeah, that was my start. I did a lot of organized sports growing up, team sports, individual sports. And I also just shout out to team sports because it is a container for growth in a way that is unparalleled.
Yeah,
Working with people you might not vibe with.
Agree.
We
Yep.
have one mission, one goal, whether it's, for cheerleading in high school, it's our competition. For on the rugby pitch in college, it was winning. It was getting your try. It was scoring. And so when I came to yoga, it was very individual in a way that felt freeing and scary at the same time. I mean, I really just came to work on my body. It was a lot of physical ailments, feeling stiff, wanting to be more fluid and wanting to be more present, that yoga mindset. Let me get my namaste.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I found what felt like magic, the
Mm,
peace. I got to quiet the mind. Um, I got to move in community, but also it was my own individual
yeah.
practice. And yeah, yoga is I always say it's my church. I'm not very religious, but it's the place that I go to commune with the divine in a sense. And nature too. Yeah, nature is where I go to commune with the divine. To be amongst trees. I love a good solo hike. Um, and yeah, you have people in your life that are instilling the fears that they have. Oh, you're going on a hike by yourself. Aren't you scared? Or does that make you nervous? What do you do to protect yourself? It's like, hey, whoa, don't put that on me.
Right.
But like, yes, of course. Sometimes I go on a hike and I'm scared, or I thought in my mind, I'm like, is there a bear around the corner? Or is, a man around the corner? The bear, the man conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm just dedicated to not stopping myself from doing what I love because I'm scared. Obviously, there are times in which I feel almost like I can't move from the fear. And so when I can, I have to be dedicated to trying. And then a lot of times something beautiful happens. I see a gorgeous sunrise by myself. I get to show up in spaces like this. This is scary. It's just to have a conversation, even though it's just two of my friends that I love, two women I respect dearly, like it's scary. But yeah, all of this my whole life has started with movement, and I think it'll always be a part
Yeah.
of my life, my journey, my practice, what I offer, what I share, and just who I am.
Yeah, beautifully said.
Yeah, very beautifully
I
said.
share the same background. When I was young, although I wasn't breaking stuff in the house, my mom was not doing that. She was like, "No, you take your stuff outside."
Yeah.
I grew up very active as well. I was in a ton of sports, team sports, high school sports, town sports. I tried everything and anything that I wanted, and my mom was like, "Go for it, like, do it."
Mm.
And, and then yoga came to me not in a way of curiosity for learning about me and my body until I actually tried it. But I was going through that caretaker role of caretaking for my
Mhm.
grandfather and I was in nursing school and my cousin was just like, like, I don't know, I've been doing yoga and it's been really helping me. And she kept saying it and kept saying it. And I was like, you know what? I don't know. And then my mom just randomly came and was like, I have a Y membership and you can only be on it for a year until they kick you off. So if you want to use
Mm.
it, here's the opportunity. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, there's yoga there. Let me try yoga. And I tried it and I was confused. I was like, what is this singular practice amongst people who seem like they know what they're doing? And I was just like looking around and what is she even saying? What it like I can't even do a forward fold. Like, I was just so confused
Yeah.
in my mind and in my body. And then we went into Shavasana and I'm like, what did I just experience? And I left,
Mm.
but I kept going back. And I
Mhm.
was just like, okay, something is happening here and something's unraveling. And I was getting stronger mentally and physically. I was getting calmer. My
Wow.
stress was kind of more manageable and I was creating
Mhm.
space for more movement and more fun and play. And I was like, okay, like
Mhm.
I belong here. This feels like a little bit of a home for me. And that was like my introduction. But again, my root of movement, just like Rochelle, will always be there. Like I even like rock climbing and kickboxing and cheerleading and all these things. It's like I feel like when I don't move, my body's like,
Hold up.
like this is like what
Mhm.
you do. Like we can't stop now. And
Right.
it's just been like a wonderful unraveling.
Wow. Did you both grow up here in Massachusetts?
Yeah, I grew up
Yes.
in Massachusetts too, yeah.
Wait, where?
Yeah, so I'm from Lowell, Mass, so
Okay.
just a suburb of Boston. It's like 30, 40 minutes north of Boston. Mhm.
Oh, it's north of okay. I still don't know where
Yeah,
anything
you're
is.
not from here, so
Yeah.
you're like, "What's that?"
I'm like, "Oh, okay, Lowell, I've heard of
Yeah.
it."
Yeah, I grew up in Randolph
Milltown
in the
accent.
area.
What happened, Cass?
I grew up in Randolph in the South Shore area.
Oh my gosh, near me.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. How like, this journey from movement as kids into practitioners as you are, grown-ups now, I'll say, how has that been? Because I as a outsider to Boston I've always said this, I've experienced this movement world very it's been so rewarding and it's been so challenging and has disrupted my sense of self, ultimately in good ways because it has revealed a lot to me, but it's been very challenging to be at times, very challenging to be a Black fitness professional, wellness professional
Mhm.
in this city. So I'm curious of how you 2 have experienced this world and how you've worked through it. Give me the tea on that aspect.
Yeah. It's a heavy
It
topic
is.
in question. I feel like for myself, it's like 50-50. It's like
Okay.
part of me is like, I don't care. Like this is what I love to do. If you want to watch and stare and assume that I can't do the things that I can do that you can't, like whatever, then I don't care. That's like your prerogative.
Right.
The other 50% of me is like, dang, like why is there such a friction between this? Like why do I feel this way
Mhm.
in this space that I want
Mhm.
to feel a part of, you know? And having to navigate that, I think it's full circle. It comes back to the rituals and routines and knowing who you are
Hmm.
individually appreciate and what
Mhm.
you value. It's like
Mhm.
we can I wasn't taught, but I was learning and still learning along the way that there is space for us. There has always been space for us, and there will be space for us no matter what. It's just how can we show up in these spaces to make them, 1, sustainable, but also constant, and just showing up in those ways.
You know, I it's Cass and I are so similar. It's like, oh, same. It's I mean, it's why we got along, why we're working together. But yeah, same. It depends on the day, 50-50. I grew up
Okay.
in a predominantly white neighborhood. I mean, Lowell's quite diverse, but a predominantly white neighborhood. I was often one or few of the people of color on my teams in rooms when in the wellness space specifically. Uh, and when I came to Boston specifically, um, I had one mission. I was rooting for everybody black. I moved to the city. I
Right.
wanted to find the black instructors, the people who are already doing the things. That is how I found you, Ashley. I sought you out. I sought Steven out. Like so there were it's I knew there were people here. You just have to do the work to find them.
That's true. Yeah.
And so I always struggle with feeling like yes, it's challenging. Yes, sometimes it's hard to find the space. Um, but also realizing there are people who are doing it and are doing it well. And how can I be in community with them? How can I learn from them? How can I befriend them? And then figure out within that space who am I? What is it that I want to offer? And to see people, black people specifically, being authentically they're fun, vibrant, uh, their cool selves. There's a level of like flavor too that you get from black people that like it just makes you feel so good and inspired. And so if I can just be in their orbit and be reminded that I too can be all of those things, then I have the permission, I have the motivation, the encouragement to be myself and to be perhaps the person that when they move to Boston, they're like, oh, I heard about this black teacher who's here doing that thing. And, I always welcome a conversation with people of color, with black people specifically, because we all know that there is a certain type of experience in any space, but specifically the wellness space of, you know, who am I? What do I have to offer? Feeling as if you're othered or feeling as if you're alienated or isolated. And so how can we support each other through that experience, navigating what is inevitable and difficult, but can also be a really great opportunity for growth and discovery.
And
For
I kinda
sure.
wanna piggyback on that too, um,
Mm,
where you had mentioned, maybe that you could be the person here, so if someone comes
mhm.
and, you could set the tone maybe for them. And I had said this to Rochelle earlier as well. It's like, I think sometimes, or I guess I can speak for myself, it's this innate feeling of like, I need to, if I want to make this big impact and bring more Black people to these practices and spaces, that I have to go out to them and do it. That's the only way we're going to do it.
Mm,
And it's like, no,
mhm,
you can still do it where you are. It's just how
mhm,
you show up and create maybe the language, or maybe keep your vibe as authentic as you can, and connect
mhm,
that way. And maybe that's the way that we can expand out to these spaces that we may not feel comfortable in.
mhm.
Yeah. What I'm hearing is that there's kind of it's like multiple considerations for yourself, for others, and it's like not ignoring that these systemic issues exist and they affect us and they affect our peers and colleagues and they affect white people too, even if
Yeah.
they don't know it or are willing to acknowledge it, right? Like we are
Yeah.
all in this in some way, but uh, it's all of this stuff doesn't get in the way of the mission, right? Like, you might have to maybe change tactics but you're doing what you set out to do, regardless of what is happening. You're not letting it rock the vision. You're
Mm,
still
Yeah.
finding a way.
I think we're all like, individually and collectively together are doing all the things and we're still showing up no matter what. Like
We are.
this podcast alone is bringing awareness to that, and whatever
Mhm.
the words that we say in our classes are doing that, and eventually and probably currently it's a ripple effect and it'll be echoed in the right spaces and at the right time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to have this real sense of trust
Mm.
that it all means something.
Yeah.
You both are, such different beasts in your offerings. I'm wondering for each of you, what is the thing that you are most lit up about in your teaching right now?
Yeah. Um, I can speak a little. See, yeah, um, I tend to weave in astrology into my teachings. I always anchor the full moon, the new moon. I love that these are cosmic spotlights on our lives, our journeys, our
Mhm.
practice, and it can be an opportunity to either stop, smell the roses, see how far you've come, or it can be an opportunity to be forward thinking. Where do I want to go? Where am I right now? Uh, Perhaps what are the things to leave, to let go, to release so that you can create space for whatever's behind the next door. I love this idea that to prove to the universe that you're ready, you got to make the space. Like
Amen.
it's not going to keep throwing stuff on you, although sometimes it feels like it. You are co-creating together with the universe. And so if you're ready for the next level, prove it. Like, let go of the things that you don't want. Let go of the people. Like, make the space. And so the full moon and the new moon are what I use to anchor those ideas. Um and touch, I mean, we're body workers. I that really The entrance for that was assisting for me.
Mhm.
So getting trained in the art of assisting in yoga classrooms. So the hands-on adjustments that you give to either, yes, correct posture or alignment, but a lot of times it is a deepening of an experience. It is holding space. It is bearing witness to someone's movement. I
Mm.
love breathing with folks as I offer the assists. You get to sync up, and show them that they're seen and that you're with them, especially in my classes that are powerful, that are sometimes over 100 degrees. Like, I'm here with you. We're breathing. Let's take a breath in and a breath out together, and then adding the hands-on touch there. I mean, it's why I ended up moving into body work, the Thai body work, because you get to hear and witness stuff that words some people don't have the words and the language and an understanding of how to say what's going on in their body. And so to learn to see it and to feel it in the way that you're touching the knee, oh, the hip moves in this way, and also the somatics of it, where the energy is stored in the body and how can we release it. And so I'm just geeking out about a lot of stuff right now.
No, I love it.
Yeah, and
I love
um
it.
I've always had a love for frequency music too. So you can listen to frequency music for confidence before an interview. You can listen to frequency music after heartbreak. I know I use that. And so most recently, just getting excited about sound healing, which is just working with frequency as well, through the chakras, through our bubbles, our auras, and so I don't know. I'm geeking out about all the stuff and I want to do all the things. And so 2026 is going to be a fun year. Eh.
We're ready. We're
Yeah.
ready.
Yes. But I have my foundation, and that's yoga, that is touch. And that is as much presence as I can muster up on any
Mhm.
given day so that I can show up as my best, messy, clean, proper, a little saucy, like
Yes.
whatever it is.
Yes, no,
Love
I
it.
love
Love it. Love
uh
Mhm.
such a good answer, and certain parts of that too I resonate as well. So I think that what I get most excited about in my classes are that they're very nervous system regulation focused, as well as
Mm.
a little bit of somatics. So being able to create soft spaces, and like the definition for me in the soft space is like the lighting and the temperature and the props and
Yeah.
the smell and,
Mhm.
just
Mm,
the pace of things. And I very heavily like to draw attention towards the breath and the body, and like how can you move with the breath and how can the breath guide you, and and stop you not stop, but how can you decrease being so in a structured space, and how can you intuitively move, and what is your body speaking and
Mhm.
asking of in this moment. I like to say in my classes, like, yeah, you can follow what I say and do, but your body can
yes.
speak otherwise too. And if these movements
Yeah.
don't resonate, then please, I enjoy when
Mhm.
people do their own thing in the space, because it's
Me too.
reassuring to
Yes.
me that I've created a space that you feel comfortable to do what it is that you need to do, and you're being mindful. And I think that also, the music is so important for me in the
Mm,
soft spaces. So frequency, yes, I 100% agree. I do it as like a walking meditation. I do it on the commuter rail to work.
Mhm.
Like, I did it
mhm.
mid-year when I woke up. Like, it's just like
Yeah.
very just relaxing and grounding. And there's something about where this music that doesn't have words in it, and you're just listening to the beats and you're listening to the instruments, and you know, uh even just the hertz alone are very regulating to your body, it depending.
Mhm,
And there's different type of hertz. I know, I'm sure there's hertz for the fiery and the active classes, but there's always hertz for, the relaxing and the calming as well. And kind of to integrate towards the body work as well. It's like, I guess I'm always just gonna say, like, my trauma runs so deep. It's like I
mhm,
believe in the time I was craving touch and I was craving these soft spaces, and I finally received them and learned about them, and I saw how much it changed me, and I was like, "Oh, like, this is very effective for other people as well." And it's like, I agree with Rochelle. Like, you can breathe with somebody and you can touch certain parts of their bodies and you can instantly see, like, wow, I didn't realize that I had like a tight IT band, if anybody knows what that is, or I didn't know I had this was stemming from my hips to like my feet, and being able to just hold that space through touch. I feel like during the pandemic,
mhm,
we all struggled,
mhm,
and
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
discriminated, and I was being shipped off to different places in my workspace and having to be with different communities, and then that separation of touch. We're covered in gloves and gowns and masks, and it's like the touch has kind of steered and separated so much away, and then to be able to come back and be able to see that, wow, like, I really needed this hug, or I really needed that hand on,
mm,
or just even you being around the realm of my energy and my body feels good. It
mhm.
inspired me to do more of it, and I think it's so necessary.
Mhm. So tell me about the Thai body work, because this is part of what made me be like, "Oh my gosh, I can pull them on this podcast together," because I saw, a post probably a couple months ago now, right? Maybe September,
Mhm,
Mhm.
where you 2 were going to be working together doing body work. Like I can picture it in my mind. I think you were outside, like in a park or something.
yeah,
Um, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is incredible." How does the whole process work?
Yeah, I guess I'll speak.
like,
So,
ooh,
uh for me, Thai bodywork is basically like yoga assisted stretches to help release tension, increase mobility, but it also has the aspect of using acupressure and compression with the heels of your hands. And you're moving in like a rhythmic motion, kind of to like warm up the muscles to be able to get into the full expression of wherever you're taking that person's body. Um, it could be you could have chatter, it could be silence, whatever reaction comes from the body. It could be emotional. It could be knowledge that you've received within these body
mhm.
work spaces. And I don't know if you want to plug in a piece as well, Michelle, about what that body work is that I'm missing or interpretation.
No, I think you said it really well. What I think my interest in Thai bodywork specifically was I think receiving massage or bodywork can be very vulnerable.
Right.
And some people immediately it's like, oh no, I don't want to be on a table. I don't want to be naked. And so what I like about bodywork is the Thai bodywork that we practice is you're fully clothed. You're on a mat, 2, 3 inch mat, different sizes. And yeah, where it's the assisted stretches, it's the acupressure. We work with trigger points for a sense of release as well, working with the fascia. So it's I like that it's an entry. It's easy for people to receive this practice, this body work,
Okay.
whereas sometimes, older folks or it doesn't matter the age might be like, "Oh, no, I don't wanna be in a dark room with oil being rubbed over my body,"
Yeah.
which, I love it, but but there are other ways to receive that healing touch, and so this felt like such a great entryway point for me, and for us, I think, and in terms of what we offer, so we wanted to emulate the way you might receive Thai body work in Thailand, which a lot of times, although I've never been, maybe 2026, eh, you will enter a room and it's sometimes there are curtains partitioning off different sessions happening. Sometimes there are no curtains and everyone is getting the body work. And so that's the piece where we're all fully clothed. And
Mm,
so our offering emulates that. It is in one room together that we have partitioned with a curtain, and we are offering two separate services on either side. So people book individually with us. Also, Cass and I offer one-on-one house calls. The beauty is you can take your mat wherever you go. It's the same way massage therapists take their tables wherever they go.
right.
So we offer that. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out Cass. When I met Cass, and I think when we met each other, we just clicked. Everything just lined up, and we laugh together, we kiki together, we plan, we goal set together. It just feels like we're on the same wavelength. And
Mm,
so we did this training together after our 300-hour teacher training, which is where we met. And we just felt like there was something we could offer, and we wanted to share that space with each other, to also, yeah, pick each other's brain, to learn alongside each other, and to hold each other accountable. And so I think what we're doing is not, I mean, many people do this, but I think to do it together, to do it separately, but also to think about holding space potentially for couples or friends who want to receive at the same time. And we have our different strengths in the bodywork space. Things in the same way in yoga, where I do hot and she does restorative. But we just hold space and we want to do that more together. And
mm,
this body work has been such a great entrance into our friendship, deepening our friendship, both personally and professionally, um, and to just bring it to more folks. And so we wanted to make it, they're 30-minute sessions, what we offer right now. It's a nice introduction to what Thai body work is. And then if folks want to have longer sessions with us, that's always available.
thank
Yeah.
you.
And it's so interesting how we met too. It's like
Yeah.
we were in the training and we immediately like locked eyes from across the room, but we like kept turning away and we were just like, I'm gonna be friends with that girl. But how can we make
Yeah.
an introduction? Because we were
I
literally
gotta chill.
the black people in the training. And then every week
Mhm.
we're just like, and then we finally made the connection and then just like hit off since then.
Mhm. Mhm.
Meant to be. Meant to
Meant
be.
to be.
And I
Totally.
feel like we're very like yin and yang too.
Mhm.
I like the active and the fiery, which I love, and I like the
Mhm.
restorative and the relaxing. So it's like a very good, like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
very cohesive.
Yeah. You
And
do
also
complement each
oh,
other really well.
yeah, thank you. I was just gonna say that Cass and I also taught a workshop together where we did a flow and restore. It was a
Mhm,
summer solstice workshop. We also had a journaling prompt
mhm,
session after. And so I think that was the first time we worked together more seriously in a public setting.
Yeah,
mhm.
And so we did that well. Obviously, we were scared, we were a little nervous,
of
but
course.
it was perfect. It was exactly what it was supposed to be. And so we just wanted to continue to run in that direction together.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. As we wrap up, one last question for both of you, and then I definitely want you to share how people can book these sessions or find you and take class with you, whatever is open and available to the public. If there was any piece of advice or mantra or quote or anything that can help other women listening to this podcast move further forward, what would that be?
Mm.
Mm. I have so many things, but
You can share them all. Like, now you sound like me.
with what time, girl? Yeah. Like I'm trying to I want to make it succinct and I want to just try to so I have tattooed on my body you are your best thing, a Toni Morrison quote.
Mhm.
And it's this reminder that you are your world, you are the center of your universe. You deserve the care, the attention, the love, the embrace, the encouragement, all of the yummy, good, soft things in this life. You are deserving of it. And I think I struggled when I was younger. Obviously, sometimes now, am I worthy of all of those things? Am I deserving of all those things? Am I doing enough to receive those things? And it's just this constant conversation of your participation is enough. Your awareness is enough. Your arrival to the moment, to the idea, to the thought is enough. And if I'm my best thing, I have to do a lot of work to ensure that I'm taking care of me. And so it is those rituals. It is hydrating, even though sometimes I need to drink more water.
It's hard. It's
It
hard.
is moving my body. It is, yeah, cleansing my space, my environment, all of the things so that I am setting myself up for success, so that I am living a life that is purpose driven, that feels exciting and joyful, that healthy dose of challenge that keeps the fire lit under your ass. And yeah, it's all of those things. And so you have to start with your home, your body, your vessel, your spirit, all of the things. And I think that mantra, that idea, that knowing that if I'm not if I'm not doing all of that, if I'm not taking care of myself, then I can't do the great work that I feel like I'm destined to do. I can't do the caretaking. And obviously all of this is a lifelong journey. I'm young in the grand scheme of things, and I consider myself to be a lifelong learner. I love learning. I love soaking up all of the information. I love all the new woo-woo stuff. And so I got to make sure to take care of me so that I can just take all of what life has to offer so that I can just show up as my best and yeah, go out and do the thing. Yeah, make sure that people are getting the workouts that they need, the healing that they need. And I get to have a little fun while doing it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, I love. I feel like
Mm,
so similar. I
yeah.
feel like I also too have a tattoo on my body. It is a swallow, and
Mm,
patient for me is that you'll always have a home. And in
mm,
spite of all of the chaos that's happening and, the connections that are being lost or connections that are growing, um, you can always find a home within yourself. We all have the tools within us. I say it in my classes as well. It's like whether that's setting an intention or an affirmation for your day or your morning, whether that's just tuning into your breath, like these are things that you can truly anchor back into your home. And you can take things with you, and not everything can come with you. But what are the
mhm,
things that make it a home for you? And despite where you are, if you're not in a physical space of a home or an emotional space, just know that there is a home within you. And then once you acknowledge and you create that home, you are infinite. You can
mm,
do anything that your heart desires.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. If people are like, "Oh my goodness, I love them so much. I need more." What do they do?
Yes, Instagram.
On the gram.
So,
Yeah.
yes, my Instagram is literally my first name and my last name, Cassandre Titus. I have all of my information on my bio, my
Mm,
newsletter links, my class links, workshop links, bodywork links. music links, everything. Everything is
Yeah.
always like pretty much updated.
Mhm.
So you can find me there. YouTube is there, like all of it. Everything's there.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. No, same. I'm in this space of my Instagram as well. It's still private. Maybe one day I'll go public, but I struggle. But my link, I have a link tree there. So you could Google Rachelle Pierre link tree. That has the 2 studios I work at in Boston. It will have the any offerings, workshops. It has a link to how to sign up to our bodywork sessions, my email, also Spotify playlists if that's something you want to get into. And also, yeah, if you want to get to know me, connect around wellness, especially if you are a Black woman or fitness instructor, any of those things, yeah, reach out to me on Instagram, send me a DM. I love to meet new folks. And yeah, I always want to work with cool people, and I want to hear what other folks are doing in their lives. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for your time and your presence and for everything that you shared with me, with us. I think that people are going to feel really nourished by this episode. I certainly do. And so just thank you for what you do and what you put out there.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you. Yeah,
Honored to
just
be sharing space with you and all of us together. Like we our hearts sank. Yeah, we were like, oh my God.
not the call from
No,
Ashley.
but it was like good feeling of like, wow, we
Yeah.
feel seen, we
Mm,
feel
mm,
heard, we feel felt, and what the work that we're doing is like it's effective. Like people are
mm.
seeing it and reaching out.
Yeah.
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 As they should. As they should. Life is so short, and we have to get better at telling people when we admire them, and
Mm.
I'm glad we're here together. Thank
Yes. Thank you,
So
Ashley. Yes,
thank
such
you.
an honor. Thank you for creating this space for us. And shout out to you. You, again, were someone I came to Boston. It was like, wow, this woman is a powerhouse. She
Wow.
holds space incredibly. And so, fast forward to here, to this podcast, further forward,
Yeah.
like you are doing the work. And as I said to you earlier, I can see that there's greatness here. The spaces that you're holding, the woman that you have already invited onto the podcast have been so inspiring to me. Their stories are so different. But we're all unique, and we're also so similar. There's so much we can learn from each other, and so much shared. So thank you for your wisdom, the space, and for being who you are. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you. I received those flowers. It's not easy for me to do, but I am on camera, so I'm gonna keep my
Yeah.
I I'm
Yeah.
gonna just say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Definitely.
All right, everybody, you heard where you can find them. Um, hit Rochelle and Cass up. You see
Mhm.
how kind and wonderful they are. Just create more space. We got to do it together. So thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.